Hello, everybody, and welcome. We'll just give you a second to connect to your audio and then we will get started. All right. Hello, everyone. And thank you so much for coming along and joining Anna and I tonight for our meal prep with Thermomix cooking class. We absolutely appreciate you coming along to spend your Thursday night with us. And we're really excited to show you a couple of our favorite meal prep recipes and give you some tips and tricks on how a Thermomix can help you to make your life easier, healthier, hit those protein goals, doing all of those great meal prep things. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Chelsea McGill. I'm a Thermix consultant and team leader. I am from Bunyip, which is southeast Melbourne, edge of Gippsland kind of area. And I have a team that come from a big chunk of Victoria. I've been with Thermomix for about 7 years now, which sounds crazy when I say that out loud. I actually came on board all those years ago. I owned a TM31 and then I'd upgraded to a TM5. They announced the TM6 was coming out, and I thought if I buy another Thermomix, my husband might divorce me. So I came on board to earn my Thermomix, had planned to leave with my free TM6, never intended to have a business, but here I am 7 years later. So very excited to have Anna join me tonight, and we are going to get started. Just a little bit of housekeeping for you all. We love when you guys interact with us. So if you could please pop a hello in the chat box for me, and let us know where you are coming from tonight. Now, we do love when you interact with us. We love when you ask questions, chat with us. But I do just ask that you do stay on mute. When you come off mute, it creates a bit of background noise. It makes it quite hard for other people to hear. So I'd love if you could just use that chat box, ask as many questions as you like. Anna and I will try to answer them, or someone else from our amazing team will do that for you as well. So if you have any questions about anything throughout the night, just in the chat box for us. All right, so we are going to get kicking. We both have a like a main dish to do, and then I'm going to do a breakfast, and Anna has a snack for you. All of our recipes are high protein and perfect to be meal prepped ahead of time. We are using TM7s tonight, but you can make all of these recipes in all the different model Thermomixes, which is brilliant. So on our TM7, obviously, we have this really large, beautiful screen. I have it set to show my weekly planner. I love being able to see what is in my cookie do or my meal plan. So tonight, I am starting off with a high protein Big Mac burger bowl. So pop it in the comments and let us know. Has anybody made this recipe before? Have you seen this recipe, looked at it, thought it looked good, or maybe you've never seen it before? Also, let us know, is meal prep something that you're doing at the moment? Are you meal prepping your lunches, or are you prepping dinners ahead of time? What does your kind of meal prep look like in your household? All right, so we've got our high protein Big Mac burger bowl. Prep time 10 minutes, total time 40 minutes, and this one does make 4 portions. Something that you need to know about Cookie Do, our recipe platform, is that you have nutritional value of all of your recipes down here. So if you are a high protein lover, and you're wanting to meal prep, you're wanting to know your calories, that kind of stuff, you can use the nutritional value panel on all recipes. So on the Cookie Do app or on the screen of your TM6 or TM7, you are going to be able to see that. So this one has 500 calories per serve. You've got your carbs, your dietary fat, and then your protein is your other big one, which is 33 grams, which is a really great amount. Obviously, there are lots of ways where you can decrease your calories and increase your protein if you need to, but we can talk about that more in a little bit. So when we're using guided cooking, you can scroll your finger down the screen. You've got your ingredients, your everything that you need so you can get prepped and ready to go. Then all of your steps, tips, tricks, utensils, things like that. Something that I love on the TM7 is that you can leave notes on your recipe. So say you want to increase the protein, you could say, I increase the protein by doing so and so. Then you save it. And then it will, when you bring it up, it will actually show you that you've got a note on it. So you can have a little read of your note before you get started, which is really handy. So we are going to start cooking. Taking our lid off. On our TM7, we have our little digital twin over here. So this one doesn't ask you to take your lid off. It shows you in that picture. So it's saying take that lid off, which we're doing there. And then we're going to put in a litre of water. We're just going in with room temp tap water, whatever comes out. All right, our TM7 does mark off our ingredient once we hit it. If you're a little bit over, that's fine. If you're under, it won't mark it off for you. You can manually mark it off. And then it does want 2 eggs. Now, the recipe only calls for 2 eggs, but I'm going to put 6 eggs in. We're going to use our egg boiler mode in our TM7, which can do 6 eggs straight from the fridge, nice and cold. We're just going to pop them in. And those other 4 eggs that I'm doing, since I'm running this mode anyway, I can use as an afternoon snack or for my breakfast or something. So when we're meal prepping, we can be smart and make extra things without making any extra work for ourselves. So let it know we put our eggs in, tick next, lid on, and then we're going to start that egg boiler mode. So egg boiler mode is setting it automatically on medium hard for us. Egg boiler mode can be accessed manually as well by going into your modes. Where are we? So this is on the TM6 and the TM7. I'm working upside down, so it's a bit tricky. But you can see on our TM7, you've got these beautiful images. So we've got soft, medium, medium hard, and hard, depending on how you like your eggs boiled. You can select it whichever way you like when you're manual cooking. And in our guided, it's set it on medium hard for us. And we're literally just going to hit that play button, and that is going to boil and give us some perfectly boiled eggs in just 15 minutes. If you're anything like me, it's hard boiled or nothing. I've never worked out on the stove how to do different kind of eggs. So I love the egg boiler that I can choose soft, medium soft, dippy eggs for the kids, things like that. So for those of you that have a TM6 or TM7, are you using the egg boiler mode? If you are, pop it in the comments and let us know. And while you're doing that, we're going to cut over to Anna. She's going to introduce herself and start her dish, and I will see you all in a little bit.
All right. Hi, everyone. As Chelsea said, my name's Anna. I have been a Thermomix consultant, I think, almost coming up to a year. But before that, I was one back in 2021 during COVID times, and then stopped and I came back to earn the TM7. And I was coming back just to earn the TM7, and then I earned the trip to Fiji, and now there's Singapore on the line, and I'm still here. So tonight I am making a high protein mac and cheese with pea and broccoli salad. But one of the things that Chelsea mentioned before is about increasing the protein with your recipe. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to steam my chicken to increase the protein amount. So I'm going to go into my manual mode. No, I'm not going to manual mode today. We are just going to go over to all our modes, and I'm going to scroll down. And on here, it has a list of different recipe, different like ingredients and how to cook them. So I'm just going to go down to poultry, and then I'm going to choose that I want it steamed. So you can either choose if it's steamed or mince, what you're wanting to do. So I'm wanting to steam. Now we have chicken frankfurts, turkey steaks, and meatballs. I'm just going to go to the chicken breast. Now, I have cheated. I have quickly put the water in there, but it's asking for 500 grams of water. Then it's giving us the option of how many chicken breasts we've got in there. So if we've got 2, 3, or 4 to 6 chicken breasts. So I'm just going to pop these in here. Just pick up my varoma lid. Going to hit start, and it's going to automatically tell me the cook time, how hot it's going to be. So I don't need to preset anything. I will just reduce this down because it was for 2 to 3. I've only put 1 in, so I'm going to put it on for 15 minutes, and then we're just going to hit go. It's going to steam to the perfect temperature, and then once that steams, what I'm going to do is going to pop it into the machine, put it on reverse blades, and then we're going to shred it all. So I'll just pop that one to the side because we are done with that baby for now. All right, we're going to go back to Chelsea, I believe.
No, you're going to keep going, Anna.
I'm going to keep going? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that. No stress. Don't mind me. All right, so now we're going to start off with our recipe. So as I said before, it's the high protein mac and cheese. So we're just going to hit start. So it's asking me to preheat my oven. Now it's asking me to grease a dish. So I've got my trusty oven dish here. I'm going to use everything. Now it's telling me to pop that onto. Is it saying with the lid? Nope, no lid. So our little twin's telling us no lid. I'm going to pop that on there. So that is just using the scales without actually having to grab, like your manual set of scales here. And we are going to weigh in 280 grams of pasta. Perfect. So as we've just hit that there. All right, so now we're going to set this one aside. All right, I'm going to get the bowl out. Oh, I know it's pretty. So we're going to pop that into there. Now we need to weigh in our frozen peas. So I'm just going to weigh. I had all, you know what? I measured these out already, so I'm not doing that. So I've just got 150 grams of peas here, and we're just going to set these to the side, and they're just going to defrost whilst we're doing the rest of the cook. All right, so it's asked us to set that aside. Now we're going to pop in 20 grams of Parmesan and 20 grams of cheddar cheese. So I've got this already just like pre-cut up here. So I'm just going to manually tick them off because I've obviously put in 40 grams. And now we're going to grate. Now, has anyone made this recipe? This is actually the first time I've made it. I've been eyeing it off for a while. I haven't made it, but this is my first time giving it a go, and I'm pretty excited. So we're just going to add in 200 grams of cottage cheese. Now, I like to use this cottage cheese the most. I find its flavour the best. I used a different one the other day. It had a better like calorie amount, but the taste of it was so much more bitter. So it wasn't for me. I didn't enjoy it. Now, so I've just add 60 grams of full cream milk. So I've just got that measured out there. We need 340 grams of water. It's always really hard doing this upside down. Trying to watch these. All right, that should be about perfect. All right, so that's ticking off. Now we need the plain flour and then some olive oil, mustard powder, and salt. So I had that measured out. So normally you wouldn't have it done like this, but tonight I've just got my flour and mustard powder and salt and pepper already pre-measured out. But I will just put in the tablespoon of olive oil. Now, if you're wanting to reduce the calories, you could just not add that in, or obviously reduce it. So I probably put only like a teaspoon in. So I'm just going to manually tick those ones off. Then we go to the next step. That's just going to mix all of this together. All right. Now it's told us to transfer this now to the baking dish with the pasta. So we have our trusty pasta dish. And we're just going to pour all of that over the top. And then we simply just need to pop that in the oven for 35 minutes and it's going to be done. So.
Are you adding your chicken in before baking or after?
Do you reckon I add it in now or after? Because it's already cooked. We'll add it in now. So this is the chicken that I did earlier today. And as you can see, it's all like nicely cooked and shredded. So we'll mix that one in now. And that was just one whole chicken breast. That took about 15 minutes. So I'll just stir that together. There's my spoon. It smells good. Really. So that's that. That's seriously doesn't really get much simpler than that, honestly. We'll pop that into the oven and we'll come back.
Perfect. That was ridiculously easy, Anna. Now I'm lactose intolerant, so when I make this next week, I'll be using oat milk and lactose-free cheese, but it looks amazing and I'm still really excited to be able to make it. So
I reckon
we
you
will,
get to sub the cottage cheese for like a yogurt or something like that, like a lactose-free yogurt.
yeah, clever.
And that'd be
Oh,
pretty interchangeable.
I love that. Perfect. All right, Anna, we will be back in a little bit to see what else you're going to be making for us tonight. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. So my eggs are still ticking away. While they are doing that, I am going to whip out my other Thermomix to make this class run nice and smoothly. I just realized I've already spilled something all over the screen. All right. So when I want to jump into a certain step on a recipe, you can scroll down and you can um, hit the step that you would like to go to, and it will automatically take you there rather than clicking next. This is only step 2, so it's fine. But if you want to get, to step 10 or something, much easier. So continuing with our burger bowl, we are going to go in with some onion. So just wanting 50 grams. I've just got some brown onion there, about 47 grams, close enough, and a little bit of olive oil. As Anna said, reducing olive oil is a great way to reduce calories. Now, you will find we are going to use the high heat mode. So we are going to do some sauteing. And remembering that our Thermomix is stainless steel, it's not Teflon. So you do need some olive oil in there, or it is all going to stick to the base, which we don't want. Hitting that next button, and then we're just chopping 3 seconds on speed 6. Guided Cooking has set that for us, just hitting play. I do find some cookie dough recipes have a wild amount of oil in them, in my personal opinion. So I do find reducing the oil in recipes is something that I do quite regularly. 10 grams is fine. Sometimes I find they might have 30 or something like that, and I'm always kind of reducing that a little bit. So we've chopped up that onion, and I just realized I actually wanted to put a little bit of garlic in there too, which I should have done at that step. So I'm going to throw a couple of garlic cloves in because I'm a believer that there should be garlic in everything. And then I'm just going to hit the repeat button. I'm just going to do that again for just a second or so to chop that garlic. All right. So my onion garlic is chopped with that olive oil there nicely. And we're just going to do a little pre-saute here of our onions. We have 3 minutes, but I'm going to reduce that one down slightly. I'm just going to do 2. So remembering it is guided cooking, not set in stone. And you can make those changes. So when you want to edit your guided cooking recipes, just touch the time, the temperature, or the speed, and then you can scroll down. Our TM7 doesn't have a dial on it like you might be used to if you've got an older model Thermomix, and it feels a little bit weird at first, but once you use it a few times, you get used to it really, really quickly. So you're just scrolling like you are on like your iPhone, up, down, that kind of thing, and then hitting that play button instead. I'm just reading through some of the comments. Now, I did pop the recipes in the chat for you, so you can find both the links to the Big Mac bowl and the mac and cheese there for you. They are both available on Cookie Doo. So lots of you are meal prepping. Some people aren't into meal prepping yet, which is fine. We're excited to show you some great recipes to get started. When you are using Cookie Doo, you can search for tags like high protein and things like that. One thing that I would love to see come to Cookie Doo is filtering by calories or protein, things like that. So that's something that we have requested and hopefully we'll see one day. But you can use the tag high protein, meal prep, things like that. You will be able to find them quite easily. When you are thinking about what you're going to be meal prepping, high protein is always a great way to keep yourself feeling full for longer and helping you hit those health goals if that is what you are into. Sometimes meal prepping is just about convenience and ease, which is totally fine. It's about what is going to work for you. But utilizing Cookie Doo to find things that make 4, 5, 6 portions, depending on how long you want to meal prep for. When I meal prep for my lunches, I tend to do 5. If I do 7, I always end up wasting. 4 is generally not quite enough, so I find 5 is my winning number. So you can filter on Cookie Doo by portion size. So you could go 5 portions if that's what works for you, 6, 7, whatever it is, and find those recipes that are going to make the right portions for you. Otherwise, of course, you can make your recipes larger or smaller using the scaling button as well, which is a great option too. So we have just started to warm those onions. And then we're going to transfer into a thermal serving bowl or other bowl and set aside. Now, I like to just leave the onions in there for this one. And then we're just going to do a little bit more sauteing. I think they cook really nicely when we do that. So a little bit more olive oil. I'm just going to go about 8 grams. And then it wants 250 grams of lean beef mince. Now we are going to go into our high heat or our browning mode. Now our high heat mode, it's called on the TM6. On the TM7, it is called browning. It is the same mode, not available on the older model Thermomixes. The reason that it asks for 250 grams is because it really wants to brown and braise your meat. For this recipe, I'm not too stressed about that. So I'm going to pop my whole 500 grams in there because it cooks perfectly, I find. If I was doing like beef strips and I wanted them really browned, braised, I wouldn't do that. But in this case, I am happy to do it. So I've put my beef mince in. Otherwise, what it's going to ask us to do is do 250 grams at once and then take it out and do another 250 grams. So if you're anything like me and you're always running around like a headless chook, this just makes life that little bit easier. So don't be afraid again to make those changes to suit you. So we're going to pop our lid on, and now we've got 7 minutes on 160 degrees, which is our high heat or browning temperature, and then our intense. So I am going to increase that to 12 minutes because I doubled my meat. Now, we're just going to hit that start button. If you have a TM6, have you used, or a TM7, have you used your high heat or browning mode before? How this one works is it goes 40 degrees hotter than the older model Thermomixes, and it mimics your fry pan. So it is mimicking that fry pan to get really hot really quickly and do that great sauteing, caramelizing, browning, braising, that kind of stuff. Something that those older model Thermomixes couldn't do. Now, on the TM6, the high heat mode is only accessible via Cookie Do. So you need to search for high heat and it will bring up basics. It will bring up beef mince, it will bring up chicken strips, it will bring up bacon, and then all your vegetables, onions, things like that. So you can bring them up on Cookie Do. When you are using a TM7, you can actually access it manually in our modes. It is just here in our browning mode, which is great. I use this one a lot, and I do find that I add it into a lot of recipes. If I'm cooking something on Cookie Do that was made for, say, the TM5, I will exit my recipe when I get to a meat cooking stage or my onions, something like that, and I'll enter my high heat mode, set it for 5, 8, 10 minutes, let it do its thing, and then go back and continue my recipe as well. This mode just adds more flavor to your meal. So when you're thinking about those flavors that you get on the fry pan, it's able to do that. So the blades spin and then they stop, which gives you that really great heat transfer on your meat, your vegetables, whatever it may be. And then the blades will start spinning again to stop it from burning. So imagine yourself standing at the stove, stirring, stopping, stirring, stopping. That's exactly what it's doing. Best thing is you can walk away, come back 12 minutes later, and it's done. No burning, no mess, no having to stand there, which I love. So back into our recipe, we're just going to let that one go for that time. Now, our egg boiler mode has finished. It's asking me to drain eggs using my simmering basket, placing cold water for 10 minutes. So I'm just going to pop those in a bowl to the side. And just give me 1 second while I do that. Now, putting them in some cold water is going to stop them from continuing to cook. So because we wanted them medium, this is going to stop them from turning fully hard boiled. You're just popping them into a bowl of cold water for a few minutes to stop that cooking. All right. And then while that is happening, I'm just going to start on a really quick, easy breakfast option for us. All right. I will just grab my bowl. So I am going to exit my recipe and head on back into my weekly planner, where here we have some apple and almond overnight oats. So is anybody prepping their breakfasts at the moment? If you are a busy person, maybe you're a mum that's running around in the mornings trying to get the kids ready, it's really easy to forget about yourself at breakfast time. Maybe you're just really time poor. You need to get out of the house early, whatever it is. Having breakfast prepped and ready to go is a great way to start the day. Breakfast is a really important meal, and being able to have a high protein breakfast is going to keep you fuller for longer as well. These overnight oats are one of my favorites to make. They are high in protein, and we're going to add some protein powder to make it even higher. And they are really, really simple. They are from the Gut Health Collection, so they're really good for that good bacteria in the gut as well. So this one's 10 minutes prep. Total time is 24 hours because they do need to stay in the fridge overnight. And then portions is 4. So we are going to start off by adding in some almonds. So we're going 80 grams of almonds. Is anyone making overnight oats at the moment? Pop in the comments and let us know. Or what is your favorite breakfast to go to? It can be Thermomix or non-Thermomix. What do you love to eat in the mornings? Hit that next button, and we're just going to mill for speed 8 for 8 seconds. Why is it that I own 8 spatulas and I can never find a spare one when I need it? Do we all love the new sound of the TM7? Like singing to it. So we have just chopped up those almonds. Now they're meant to be a little bit chunky. We don't want them too fine. So we've got some nice consistency there. And then we're going to add in 1 apple, which I have just chopped roughly into quarters, skin on. And we're going to put our lid back on. We've got 2 seconds on speed 5, and we're grating that one. And then that is our apple and almond base. These ones are really, really tasty. Then we're going in with 100 grams of rolled oats. So you just want your traditional rolled oats. You don't want your quick oats or anything like that. Oh, is there anything more satisfying than getting it bang on? Jumped up, of course it did. 40 grams of chia seeds, which I'm hoping I have enough of. Oh, I'm a little bit shy. Some milk. It does say non-dairy. You can use your milk of choice. Of course, why can't I find my milk? There it is. I did say earlier that I am lactose intolerant. You can use full cream milk if you want to. That's totally fine. This is the oat milk that I use. I find with a lot of the milk alternatives, they do have a lot of oil in them, seed oils and things like that. So this one I find is one of the only ones that doesn't have any oils in it. So it is my go-to. It is just oats and water. And of course, you can make milk alternatives in your Thermomix as well with ease. So always read the label when you're buying milk alternatives. So you know what's in them. All right, so we got 550. I thought it was 500. 550 grams of milk of choice. And then we're going in with a tablespoon of pure maple syrup, which is our sweetener. Now, making sure we've got pure maple syrup, not maple flavored syrup, because they are just sugar and water. These ones are a great natural sugar. And then a little bit of salt. And if you wanted to, this is where you could add in some protein powder. Again, I can't have dairy, so I use the tasteless protein, which is a collagen protein. So this one is totally tasteless. You can add it into anything. You can add it into tea and coffee. You can add it into milk, cereal, baking, mains. I just opened the bag and I can't find the scoop. Absolutely anything, and it truly is tasteless. You cannot taste it. So it's a great thing to have in the cupboard. You can buy it online. If you just Google tasteless protein, it will come up for you. And I'm going to put in 4 scoops because 1 scoop is about a serve, and this recipe makes 4. 4 scoops of my protein powder, popping our lid on, and we have 3 seconds on speed 5. Lid cap on and pushing slow. Then we're going to set mixture aside for 10 minutes, leaving it in the mixing bowl. And then we're going to divide between bowl serving glasses or jars. And then we're going to cover, pop in the fridge, and then we're going to mill up some more almonds and some frozen berries, warm them up, and pop them on top. So we will finish doing that after that one has rested for a little bit. So we are going to jump back over to Anna, check in with her, see how she's going, and I'll be back in a little bit to finish my burger bowl with you all.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We are now going to go on to the second part of this recipe. So it is a high protein mac and cheese with a pea and broccoli salad. So we are going to go and start making that salad straight up. So we've got our broccoli. You can't see my Thermomix screen. Oh, we've got that one, this one. Sorry, my screen is mirrored and it's making me see things. So I'm just going to tear off the scales again. So we're going to add in 250 grams of broccoli there. It's a little bit shy, but that's okay. I'm going to add in 80 grams of natural yogurt. A little bit more. And it was a little bit over, but that's okay. All right, now we're going to add in some fresh lemon juice. So we're just going to squeeze this in. So it's just asking for 20 grams. Should be about half. Perfect. And I don't mind lemon, so I'm just going to finish juicing that lemon as it goes. Right. Now it's saying to add some cayenne pepper and some ground pepper and salt. I don't have any ground pepper left, so I'm just going to grate some of that in there. And then we have our salt. I'll just leave out the cayenne pepper for now. We're just going to chop all of that. So it is quite like chunky in there. So you can see it's all quite chunky still. Chop that up. Okay. Well, it smells really good. So look at all that. That is all mixed up and chopped and ready to go. So it's telling me to put it into a bowl. So I'll just pop that there with my spatula. And then we're going to mix in the peas. And then so what I would normally do when doing this meal prep is I would then mix all this together, put it in, so that hasn't really defrosted very well. And then I put it into my containers. So I just use some meal prep containers, they're just normal plastic containers. And then I weigh all my food out and make sure that each serving's got the right amount. And then I will eat it as we go. So if there's something that doesn't need to be heated up, I'd put it into separate containers as well. I'll just scoop all of this out. It smells really nice. So that is our salad. So as you can see there, that's all ready to go. So I'm going to pop that onto the side now while we're waiting for the pasta to still cook. I'm just going to move this out of my way.
How quick and easy was that?
So easy. And like, if you took in the time that it actually took to mix the sauce, just pour over the pasta, and then like it says to, I don't know if it said to wash the bowl or not, but I wouldn't really wash the bowl in between those 2 steps. Like I just put the broccoli straight in with like the leftover bits of cream cheese and stuff, because it's just cream cheese and water. So that would be a really, really quick one to do from start to finish. Like really quick. Now, are you right for me to jump into the next one, Charles?
Yeah, go for it. Thanks, Anna.
Wonderful. So now we're moving on to the sweet treat of the evening, because in any good diet, you need to have sweet treats, because without sweet treats, I don't think life is worth living. So this is a great one to do. Charles, this will be a good one for you because it is dairy-free, just naturally by ingredient, and it's also gluten-free. So we're just going to start on this one. So it's a high-protein brownie, and it's part of that high-protein series again. Now, I have made a couple changes to this recipe simply because I did not have almond butter, and I wasn't going to go buy it, and I didn't have time to make it today. So I'm just using peanut butter, which is totally fine. It doesn't matter. They perform the same thing. So it's just asked us to heat the oven up. My oven's already hot and ready to go. It's asked me to grease a brownie tin. That's fine. Okay. The other thing that I did do, let me get one ingredients, is it's asked for blanched almonds. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen the cost of what almonds are at the moment, but they're expensive. And if you get them already skin peeled, they're even more expensive. So I am just using normal natural almonds with the skin on, and it's not going to affect anything of what we're doing. So we're just going to add the 25 grams of almonds in there. And we're just going to mill. So we're going to break them up and make it into almond flour. If I hit the... Those ingredients over, they're a bit easy to get to. Okay. So there we have it. So if you're a purist and you're wanting that really light almond meal texture that doesn't have the skin in there, by all means, get your blanched almonds. But you're not going to know, you're not going to be able to see the difference. So I'm all for making it convenient and cheaper. So now we're going to go ahead and add in some red kidney beans. Now, if you've never cooked with beans before in a sweet dish, like I highly recommend that you try, because it's kind of mind-blowing. I've been making these black bean cookies for years and they're delicious. And I did actually check today. So I wondered if black beans actually had more protein than red kidney beans, and they do not. It's only like 2 grams per 100, or 0.2 grams, sorry. But the red kidney beans did win. So we're going to add our can of kidney beans that's been drained. Right, and now we're going to add our applesauce. So this is a great little additive. Once again, you can make this one, but I am a little bit lazy sometimes, and I have just bought it. Okay. Right, so now we need 50 grams of cocoa powder. So that's going to tick off me. Now, I know Chelsea said that she uses a flavorless protein powder. I do not. I have a cupboard full of all the different flavors because I love my protein powder. I use Macromite protein powder, which is dairy-free, and I'm obsessed with all the different flavors that they have. So we're just adding in 40 grams of chocolate-flavored protein powder. That one to the side. All right, so now we need to add 4 eggs. So I've just broken up 4 eggs ready to go. And this is where you could change the profile of the dessert treat that we're making. You could still just use, like, say, 2 or 3 eggs and sub out just for egg whites in the same weight quantity. So instead of putting 4 eggs, you could do 2 eggs and say like 100 grams or like 80 grams of egg whites. And that will change your protein amount. It will actually increase it by a little bit, and it will reduce the calories as well. So now we're just going to add some vanilla. Measure that with your heart. And we're going to add in a little bit of salt wherever that went. Which I got this Murray River salt when I was away on holidays over Christmas, and I'm obsessed. So now we just need to add in 4 tablespoons of coconut oil. So I've pre-melted this and measured it out. because coconut oil, when it's solidified, is really hard to measure out in like tablespoon quantities. And then it does say 65 grams of pure maple syrup. But I'm not listening to what Chelsea says. I'm actually using the sugar-free maple syrup that I know is not maple syrup, and it's full of crap, but it does lower the calorie content if that's what you're wanting to do. But I do understand that it's not real food. Just ignore that. Now, so this is where it's pulling for almond butter. So it's asked for 50 grams of almond butter, but I am just going to put in 50 grams of peanut butter, which I do make in the Thermomix. Only time I ever buy peanut butter is when we are away in the van. That tends to be the only time I'll ever buy peanut butter. So now we just need to add our baking powder. So we've got 1.5 teaspoons of that. Now we're going to pop our lid on. I'm just going to give that a mix. So that has given it a really good mix through. It's like a cakey batter that's in there. So now what I need to do is divide this into my little silicone 20, so it's makes about 24. Is that 24? Yeah, 24 little muffins. So I will spread them out over here, and then they will go in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes. But do make sure that they do spring back. You don't want them too soft, because if they're too soft, when you try to take them out of the muffin tray, they will sort of just like collapse on themselves. So you do need to make sure that they are cooked. But that is that next part. And once again, that took like 5 minutes. If I wasn't yapping and carrying on, it's such a quick and easy thing to make. So I will show you though. This is what they look like when they are cooked. So they are these little cute muffins. And if you wanted to get indulgent, you could easily add some like chocolate chips. And actually, one thing it did say is to put walnuts on top of the muffins before you bake them. But I just wanted to reduce the calorie amount of each little muffin, or brownie. So I did not add the walnuts on there, but they are really, really cute.
They look great. Thank you so much, Anna. We will
You will
come back
notice
to you.
there's not actually 24 there because we've already eaten some. I ate one straight out. As I was trying to get it out of the muffin tray earlier, it wouldn't come out. So then I accidentally ate it before.
It accidentally fell into your mouth.
Accidentally. Absolutely.
I have that problem all the time. Does anyone else have that issue? Things just accidentally fall into your mouth in the kitchen all the time. Anna, you continue doing that off screen. We will come back in a little bit to see your mac and cheese and salad all plated up. Thank you so much. I did pop some links to the proteins that Anna and I both use and the recipes that we are making also in the chat box for everybody. So here we have our browned beef mince. Now, in the chat, somebody did say that they haven't used the high heat mode for mince because they don't like the way the Thermomix cooks the mince, which I totally understand. If you've used an older model Thermomix or you've used a recipe that doesn't use a high heat mode in the TM6 or TM7, you may have found that your mince is a little bit kind of mushy because those blades continuously spin. With that high heat mode, the blades don't continuously spin, so you are going to get a great finish on your mince, which is what we want. It is very similar to the consistency as if I had cooked it in the fry pan and was just stirring it around like that. So definitely give that high heat mode a go if you haven't. You do get a bit of blackening on the base of the bowl, which is really normal. It is that yummy, really yummy flavor developing there. And my light just went flat, which is super abundant. So the next step is adding in another. So we're removing any caramelization and popping it to the side. And then we're adding another 250 grams of beef mince, which I already did in one go. Browning for another 6 minutes, scraping down the sides of bowl, transfer into a bowl with onions. I left mine in there, add a little bit of salt and pepper and keep warm. Now, if you are eating this as a meal, you would want to keep it warm. If you are like me and a meal prepping, you don't need to keep it warm. I like to eat this one cold. It is delicious. So a little bit of salt and pepper, stir, and away we go. Now I'm just going to pop that one to the side, look out another bowl. I hope you can still see okay without that light on. Clean and dry your mixing bowl. I've whipped out a clean one. And then we're just going to add in some tasty cheese. So I've got 50 grams of tasty cheese to chop up. Next. And then we're just going to grate 5 seconds on speed 7. Now, I have these really cute meal prep containers that I got from Kmart. They are a set of 5 and they have the days of the week on the lid. So you've got the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday on the lid, which is cute. They were really costly, maybe $20 for the set of 5. I like them because they're not plastic. So you've got the glass. So if that is important to you, then that is great. But there are lots of good meal prep containers at places like Kmart and that. So transfer your cheese to a bowl and set aside. So there is our cheese. Just going to put that one in a bowl. So grating cheese in your Thermomix is a great way to save money. Great way to save money. Block cheese is much cheaper than a bag of pre-grated cheese. That's a good way to reduce your grocery costs. Plus, bag grated cheese is filled with anti-caking agents, which are generally full of preservatives and are not great for you. So it is a good way to remove those from your diet as well. So the next step is we're going to make the high protein sauce. So I've got 2 of the eggs that we boiled earlier. The other 4 still have their shell on them. If you're using your rest of your eggs for meal prep, keep the shell on and peel them when you're going to be eating them. But these 2 I have peeled. If anyone has tips on how to peel an egg, please share it with me because I'm so incredibly bad at it. It's not a skill I have. So I've got my boiled eggs in. Then we're going to add in half a dill pickle cucumber. So I actually chopped mine up already. So I'm just going to add in some pickles. 1 garlic clove. Now, if you've ever seen me cook before, you would have heard me say double the garlic in everything. I did add some garlic to my mince earlier, and this is going to stay raw. So don't double your garlic when it's raw, or you will breathe garlic fire on everybody at work or wherever you are when you're eating this. Going in with 50 grams of grapeseed oil. If you try to avoid seed oils, you can use a different oil. Avocado oil or something like that is always a great option. Olive oil, the taste is too strong, so I would avoid using olive in things like sauces, mayonnaises, things like that. Some lemon juice. Well, it's just 15 grams now. Here I am talking about reducing preservatives, but I do cheat sometimes and I do use the lemon juice in a container. I refuse to pay $2 for a lemon to use 15 grams. So that's just something that I do.
It's called balance, Chels. We can't do everything.
To be like Anna and her fake maple syrup, right? You can't do everything, and that's okay. Whatever works for you, there's no judgment. And then 10 grams of Dijon mustard. And I'm a big mustard fan, so I always like to add a little bit extra. Just because it's guided cooking doesn't mean it's set in stone. There's flavors that you like or you don't like. Don't be afraid to add more, less, whatever works for you. And then we are going to blend for 20 seconds on speed 8. 20 seconds on speed 8. Just going to grab my other light quickly. Got this great new portable light, which makes my life much easier taking photos and stuff, but it does go flat quite quickly, which is very annoying. So we have just blended that one down. And then next, we're going to add in a couple of more ingredients. So give your lid a bit of a scrape. Got a bit of egg on that lid there. So adding in 10 grams of tomato paste, 10 grams of apple cider vinegar, some black pepper, a little bit of salt, and it does say half a teaspoon of hot sauce. Now that one is optional, depending on what you like. I am a bit of a sook. My family loves sriracha. I'm just going to add in like a dot because I don't like my food too hot. If you are a lover, feel free to add extra. And then next, lid back on, and we're going to blend for 1 minute on speed 9 this time. Now, you're not going to be able to hear me for a little bit, so just bear with me. All right, so that sounds good to me. So I'm just going to check it. Just give a little bit of a scrape down and check the consistency. And that looks good. So this one is quite a thick sauce. Threw my lid cap on the ground. It is quite a thick sauce because it has the eggs as the base, which it's meant to be. It's not meant to be a runny one. Don't panic if you look at it like and think it's too thick. This is the most delicious sauce. It's like a burger sauce, but with high protein and is so, so yummy. So next up, we are going to plate up. So to assemble, divide lettuce, cherry tomatoes, cooked mince, cheese, and pickles between 4 serving bowls. So if you are eating this one hot, into your serving bowls. If you are using it for meal prep, into your containers of choice. Now, the great tip to show you, we're going to swipe down from the top and open up our scales. Now, we're going to use the base of the TM7 as our scales. Not having arms or the sides on the TM7 is brilliant because you can get that whole kind of plate to weigh on. So we've put my bowl on. We're on 0 grams there. So we've got the 4 serves. So you can go through and weigh each of them if you want to. I tend to go by eye because that's my personality style. But if you are somebody that wants to be a little bit more precise, go through and, measure it out, weigh it so each portion is exactly the same. If you are somebody that meal preps at home, pop in the comments and let us know, have you got any great meal prep tips for people? Thermomix or non-Thermomix, just things that are going to make meal prepping easier. I think being prepared is the most important one, knowing what it is that you are going to be making for the week ahead, using Cookie Do, doing your meal plan, your shopping list, ordering to Woolies online, whatever it is that you're doing, makes life nice and easy. So we've got our 4 portions there. And then with this one, we are going to add in a little bit of lettuce. I love anything that's in a bowl. There are some great bowl recipes on Cookie Do, like a hoisin pork bowl. We see you've got taco bowls. All of these things can be great for meal prep as well as quick dinners. So we've got a bit of lettuce. We've got 200 grams of cherry tomatoes to split up here. That little bit of cheese, we're going to divide this in bowls. They put too much in that first one, but that's okay. Again, get your scales out. Anna's probably having a little fit watching me not weigh each ingredient there, but Some pickles. Are we pickle fans? Pop in the comments, let us know. And is there anything else that you would like to add to the burger bowl? What do you love on your burgers? So we've got our cheese, lettuce, tomato, pickles, our mince, and then we're going to top it off with that sauce. As I said, I eat this one cold. I find it really yummy. If you want to reheat, as Anna said, store your meat and your salady bits separately. I've actually already meal prepped for the week, so now I'm going to have to wait to eat this one. I think I've got one day left, my other meal, so it's going to be a bit torturous because this is one of my favorites. So quick and easy, a really great intro into meal prep as well. This is my go-to if I haven't done a proper plan for the week. Grab some mince, and I've usually got everything else in the fridge. So it's very, very easy. And here we have our high protein Big Mac burger bowl. What do we think of that one? Do you think that's something that you would like to add to your meal plan or your meal prep for the week? In the chat and let us know. Now, I'm just going to plate up my overnight oats and then we'll head back to Hannah and she's going to show us her finished product as well. Just gonna switch my thermos around. Now, if you have been eyeing us off, a little bit jealous of our TM7s or the fact that Anna and I both have two TM7s, if you already have a TM7, you can join our team. And if you join in February, you have till mid-March to get 5 sales and you will earn a free TM7 on top of commission. If you don't yet have a TM7, you can come on and join our amazing Earn program where you can earn a TM7 with just 4 sales in a 90-day program, which is incredible. So please reach out to Anna and I if you have any questions. We would love to answer them for you. I will send an email after this. Please keep an eye on your junk. It will most likely end up in there. I'll send it tomorrow with a little bit more info, the recipes, the link to the recording if you'd like to rewatch this and things like that. So we're going to divide mixture into serving glasses or jars. Again, you can use the scales to weigh it out if you like. I do have these cute little jars. These were just from Woolies in the jar aisle. They're about 200-gram jars. There's different sizes. They are very cute to pop your overnight oats into. Just grab another utensil. Now, it's just thickened up sitting in the bowl for 10 minutes there. Into our jar. There are our overnight oats. And then we are, of course, I'm out of bowls now. We might jump back to Anna to show us her finished product while I wash my bowl. And then I'll finish my recipe and then we'll be all done. You there, Anna?
Yep, just unmuting myself, sorry. So this I've just taken this out of the oven and I gave it a bit of a stir and I just added a little bit of extra water. It's cooked, but it was just like a little bit dry. So I guess it's one of those things that depending on what pasta you're using, depends on like how absorbent it is. So do just give it a double check, but it smells amazing. And this is phenomenal. I've just been, I was kind of eating it while we were waiting around. So if you ever just want like a really quick, fresh, nice, like little salad to go with dinner, I would bunny hop that recipe and make that broccoli and peas salad because it is delicious. So there we have it. We have our mac and cheese with our shredded chicken that we added in. And it smells really nice. And it was so, so simple. So what I would normally do is, like I will do it today, because it's a hot and a cold, you typically wouldn't put them together if you were eating, but I reckon you could eat this cold. I don't reckon it would be bad cold, but I will put it into separate containers. But I've separated this into the 4. And I might put that in one big container. I might put that in one big container and put the other ones in this one.
I am such a cold lunch eater. Like I find most meal preps I do just eat cold because I find it that little bit easier and I think most of them are pretty delicious. So I feel like I would probably eat that mac and cheese cold, Anna.
Yeah, I reckon I would. I'm just going to, I thought I was organized by putting it in the containers and now I've thought about it. I'm like, that doesn't work. But it's really, really nice. Like it's actually delicious. So normally if I'm meal prepping and I'm tracking my calories, I would do this a lot more stringently. I would literally put all this back into a bowl, measure that, and then divide it by 4, and then scoop out each measurement to make sure that I've got that the exact amount in every single serving of my lunch. You don't have to be that anal. That's just me being control freak and not knowing what else to kind of do to eye. Because sometimes when you're making dishes, this is an easy one to eye, but sometimes when you're making like stir fries and stuff, you're like, how can I tell that I've got more like noodles or rice or anything, or if I've got more chicken? So I separate everything. But this is super, super easy. If you've only got half an hour to prep your lunches for the week, this is the recipe I reckon to make, because that is so quick and easy. And you didn't have to do anything. Like the oven did a lot of the hard work and the Thermomix did the rest of the hard work.
And I feel like that's a big call coming from Anna because she is queen of meal prep. So if she thinks that that
Yeah.
is delicious and a go-to, then I think we need to listen to that. And everyone should
Yes.
make that one for next week.
Yeah, I definitely like to meal prep as much as I can. And it simply comes down to, like, for me, meal prepping just means that I stay on track. And it means that I can be out and about doing things, running around, and then you get hungry and you're like, shit, what am I gonna do for lunch? And then by the time, like, if I don't have something at lunch ready, like, I'll come home, I'll be in the pantry and I'll eat a packet of chips
Mm.
whilst I'm looking on what I'm having for lunch. Whereas or I'll stop and get like freaking almond croissant because I can't say no to an almond croissant. But if I know I've got lunch at home and I know I've got my snacks and everything already, I will just go home, or I'll go, okay, cool. I can finish what I need to do for the next half hour, knowing that lunch is literally like a 2-minute job when I get home because it takes 2 minutes to heat it up in the microwave. For me, it saves me from falling off like my health goals, and it keeps me on track. So that's like, I'm a big advocate for meal prepping in that sense. And also, just so you eat, like, I have friends that they say, I just forgot to eat. And I'm like, what do you mean?
I
Like,
was
how'd you
literally
forget?
going to chime in with that, Anna. I was going to say, I think as mums, Anna and I are both mums. Anna has 4 kids. I have two. We can put ourselves last a lot, I think, as busy mums. So, having food prepped for you, whether it's your breakfast, your lunch, whatever it may be, you're going to find that you're going to put yourself first. It may not be about losing weight. It may not be about hitting protein goals. It may just be about the fact that you are eating and sustaining yourself, because that is really, really important for everybody, but especially for women and especially for busy mums. So I think that's really, really
Absolutely.
important to remember.
I find it wild that people forget to eat. I'm like, mate, I go to sleep thinking about what I'm having for breakfast.
My day literally consists around my meals and my
Yeah.
snacks. So I'm with you. I couldn't forget to eat. But I do know lots of people do, and it is one of those things that we just put ourselves last as mums. So absolutely.
That
Um,
is everything. So that is our salad that we made. We've got our mac and cheese with the extra protein with the shredded chicken in there. And then we have our little high protein brownie bites.
Amazing.
Done.
That is a
That was
happy
fun.
week.
I'm happy.
Perfect. If you have any questions for Anna, please pop them in the chat. If you're not following her already, please do on Instagram. Are you on Facebook, Anna?
I am, but I'm
You am,
I'm
yeah.
like, it's just kind of what feeds over. Like, I
Yeah.
don't do anything on Facebook that is not different to what I
Yeah.
am posting on Instagram. Yeah.
Perfect. We can follow Anna on Instagram and Facebook at Pepper's Kitchen. She will pop it in the chat for you as well. So big thank you to Anna for all of that, and give her a follow because she'll post some photos of that for you guys to see tomorrow as well. So thank you so much, Anna.
You're welcome.
Um, and thank you. I've washed my bowl and we're just going to chop some more almonds. I pushed the wrong button. We're just heading back, set as current step. Just going in with another 40 grams of almond. A little bit short again. I'm like, yeah, I've got everything I need in my pantry. And then we're just going to chop 3 seconds on speed 5. So we're not wanting to mill them down. We're just wanting to chop them a little bit, place in a bowl and set aside. And then it wants 150 grams of mixed berries of choice. And it just wants to warm them for 2 minutes. We've just slightly chopped our almonds there. Now, you're meant to do this step the next day, so kind of before you're eating it. Now, I found that my berries have been out they're not really frozen anymore. 2 minutes isn't going to cook them. We're literally just warming them. So to be honest, I'm just going to skip that step. Normally when I make these, I actually don't do the berries and the almonds on top. I just find it's a little bit easier. If you don't, that's just up to me, but it is a nice kind of extra to be doing. So warm, and then serve overnight oats topped with warm berries, reserve chopped almonds, and a drizzle of maple syrup, optional. So that is up to you. So you can do that if you want to. Otherwise, have them as they are, because I promise they are delicious. I'll chuck a couple of berries on top. I've got old strawberries there, which are probably a bit big for my cute jars. Just going to throw a few frozen blueberries on. You could also use fresh berries, whatever works. Now I have purple blueberry hands. But there we have our burger bowl and our overnight apple and almond oats filled with gut health and extra protein added in. So that is a delicious breakfast and lunch for you, ready to go. Super easy, both cold. So you've got no time kind of to prep your breakfast and lunch. So busy person in the morning, grab this, eat it in the car if you need. Eat your burger bowl on the go, whatever works for you. But there we have it. So big thank you to everybody for coming along tonight. Again, if you have any questions, please pop them in the chat. If you don't, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Mixing It Real. And Anna is Pepper's Kitchen. So a huge thank you to Anna for helping me tonight. We don't get paid to run these classes. We do them to support our customers because we really want you guys to get the most out of your Thermomixes. So a huge thank you to her for helping out tonight, and a massive thank you to each of you who came along. We really appreciate seeing you. Please pop in the comments and let us know, what was your favorite dish of the night? What's the first thing that you're going to be making? Did you learn something about meal prep that's going to help you out in the long run? Please let us know. We also love hearing what you'd like to see. We try to run a class every month, especially now we're back into the swing of things in the new year. So feel free to reach out to either of us on Instagram and let us know what you would like to see, or reach out to the person that invited you along tonight and let them know. Our team are always trying to find new, exciting things to show you so you can learn more about the Thermomix and really get the most out of it. If you'd like any more information on earning a TM7, either as an owner or a non-owner, please send us a message or chat to the person that invited you along. We would love to give you some more information on that. Or, of course, purchasing a TM7. We do have our 25th anniversary gift where you will get a scratchy, where you could potentially win a TM7, win a second bowl, win mix shop discounts, items, things like that, which is really fun through February as well. So please yell out if you have any questions about that. And again, a huge thank you for joining us tonight, and we will see you all soon. Bye, everybody. Anna, stick around for a photo for me too, please.